Yeah. So Mal was unseeded, beating Coop in the final, and they had a court next to the stadium, which was where people walked by after the matches were finished. And I was practicing on this court, and Mal, I didn't want to watch Mal, and Coop was pretty boring. So I needed some work on my game, and I'm practicing, and people are going by, and they started to stop, and then they asked me a question. Are you Mal Anderson? And I said, yeah. And they said, didn't you just win the United States Championship? Yes. And what are you doing out here? And I said, I wasn't satisfied with my game.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Roger Rowe. I'm a scriptwriter and I'm adapting Hugh Lunn's book, The Great Fledge. We're here now at Frew Park, the spiritual home of Brisbane, if not Australian tennis. I hope you enjoy what's coming up. It's great.
Mal is incredible in that he won the US Open when he was unseeded, and he was in winning Australian Davis Cup team in 1957. He was another winning Australian Davis Cup team in 1973, so he's the man.
Hi, this is Jimmy Shepherd, professional interviewer. I'm here with my good friend Don Andrews. We're at the site, Frew Park, Milton, and getting ready for the opening this weekend, I believe. Is that right, Don?
Correct, yeah, that's it.
We'd like to talk a little bit about Mal Anderson. Don and I are both good friends of his. I mean, was very fortunate enough to play against Mal and also to practice with him. He used to come out to our house at Baruch. We had a tennis court, and wonderful person. But he probably had the most perfect game of any person I've ever seen. He had not just one good shot, all his shots were good. I know, Don, when you taught too, you'd probably pattern players after Mal with his style, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Mal was just one of those players you just wanted to watch. He had all the shots.
Beautiful player. Yeah. I mean, he originally, where's he from? Where's the country?
Theodore.
Theodore, and Don's from Toowoomba. What a lot of people don't know is about 95% of all their great tennis players come from the country.
Now, when Mal went away and he took Pat Raft around the world, and I still believe that helped Pat tremendously, left at home was Daphne, and I know for a fact that she did so much of the hard work all that time in great support of her husband, and ran that tennis centre until Mal come home, and that happened quite often, especially.
That was a lovely speech, Mal. No notes, you're better than me.
To get together for the Roy Emerson statue. I think it's well deserved. He's done such great things for tennis, and not only that, he's probably one of the greatest ambassadors tennis or Australia has had in the tennis field. Mo, as he's all known to his fellow mates, always in the same spirit. Even when he was coming up, any wins didn't, but because he had two sisters here today, which probably kept him under thumb, is that right? But Roy was a great character. He liked to have a lot of fun, and I can remember in '55 when we were over there at Forest Hills in New York, and some of the girls got talking to Roy, and I was sitting around there, and the young ones, and of course they were very naive. When they found out Australian tennis players coming, they'd all get around and look, and they thought we may be some aliens. No, that's honestly, and anyway, Roy would get together, and then they'd ask Roy about the kangaroos and so forth, and he said, oh look, he said, Mum, when she goes shopping, she doesn't take a trolley or anything, she takes a kangaroo and just puts it in the pouch, all the shopping, and the girls said, did you hear that? And they went on, and I'd have to walk away. I couldn't stop laughing. And he said, because we use them as ball boys up there. He said, they get across the court so quickly and just put the ball in a pouch. And this is honestly, and all the young girls, they walked away and just could not believe it that he'd do that. There's a lot of times, Roy, once he lost a match at Wimbledon, and I happened to be in the dressing room after I was there. I forget what year it was. And he lost a very close match to someone he should have won. and he's in having a shower and he's singing away, and a guy came up to him next to me. He said, "Is that Roy Ellison?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "He just lost a match." And he's in the shower singing away, and yet nothing worried him at all. And as he said, "Why are you going in and brooding?" He said, "That's not going to win the match for me." So I think that was a great thing in him. I never ever saw Roy throw a racket in all my times, and I saw him play a lot of matches, a lot of close, hard matches, and he had such a great temperament, and he was a great competitor. Because along he and I think Rod Laver are the only two players, what I know of, has won every Grand Slam at least twice. And a lot of them, you get Nadal, Federer. Federer's only won the French once, and Nadal has only won Wimbledon once. So it's a great honour. And Roy won 6 Australians, 2 French, 2 Wimbledons and 2 US. He would have won the 3rd Wimbledon in 65 or 66 when he crashed into the umpire's chair and hurt his shoulder where he couldn't, he finished the match. And that's the way Roy is. He said he was not going to forfeit. So he finished the match, but he couldn't serve at all because tossing the ball up. And, he was one of the greatest backhand volleys I think tennis has ever seen. Maybe Tony Roach was another close one. He was in doubles, he was one of the best doubles players I think we've produced. He won 6 French doubles championships with 5 different partners, and that tells you roughly, what a great doubles player he was. And not only a single player, he's a great competitor. Fitness, there was no one fitter than that Roy. Because when he went to the Brisbane Grammar, he used to go into every event, possibly on their sports day, and he held the long jump there, I think, for about 27 years. And that was probably could have been his 4th, 5th, or 6th event for the day. So, he was a great athlete. Because I played a bit with Roy later on when we became seniors, and his backhand volley, he'd have one knee nearly on the ground and he'd just hit the heck out of it and keep it in play. And he was just incredible volley, and I think he'd get a lot of money if he could sell it to the top players of today. I know we were playing at doubles, he and I were playing Rosewell and Laver, and we got a match point where all over the net having a heck of a volley, and Laver just crunches one just to the left side of Roy, and Roy goes behind his back and just nails it down the middle. And he jumps up with joy because that gave us the match, and he hugged me and then he broke my back, and he says, "Guys," he says, "you got to have better shots than that if you want to win." He always liked to rub it into people. One other time, Roy and I were playing Neil Fraser and Ashley Cooper on 500 on a train coming back from Budapest just before they had the big uproar there in '56. And Roy and I happened to be getting good cards and beating them, and because Roy just loved to rub it into Ash and Neil. And next minute we're going along and Ash picks the cards up and throws them out the window, so that was it. But, he's a great character. He runs a lot of different programs over in America. He went over in '68 for 2 years, and he's still there. So, because he was going to play most of the tennis when he was playing over there was in America. So, unfortunately, we don't see much of him. But I know he'd love to have been here today, Roy. And I just congratulate Hazel and whoever is involved in getting this up and running, and it'd be a great honour, and I know that he would like to pass on his best and congratulations, and sorry that he can't be here because at the moment he's got enough problems on his plate. But again, thank you very much, and to you, Peter and Hazel.
Good morning, Mel. How are you going? Peter Racy here.
Oh, Peter, how are you?
I'm really well. So, good morning, everyone. I'm on the phone with Mel Anderson because Mel's very keen to have a little bit of an input into the petition to name the picnic pavilion in Frew Park after Robin Evan. Mel, over to you.
Oh, good. Thanks, Peter. Well, thanks very much. It's a great thing, I think, because Robin's done a lot for tennis. She's won a Grand Slam doubles, and she's been a real force overall in Australian women's tennis back in the heyday of hers. I didn't have a lot to do with Robin. I know her personally because in her heyday, it probably would be in the 60s, and I'd turned professional, so I wasn't allowed to play in any of the tournaments then, and so therefore I didn't have a chance to see her play a lot, but I know her standard anyway, and she was a very knowledgeable player, and worldwide, everyone recognised her and appreciated how good she was.
Well, she was certainly ranked in the top 10 players in the ranking system of the day, and I've actually got as a backdrop to my interview here a photograph of the Milton Tennis Centre. I think it's from 1968, which is a little bit after Robin's peak. And as it happens, like you, she had her Grand Slam success in the American Open, 1963 doubles win with Margaret Court. And of course, you had your quite amazing win in America, which is a wonderful story. And I know that people will just go off and search that because it's in the YouTubes here. And it's really quite incredible, I think, that Frew Park or Milton has had a revival in interest and is now the centrepiece of the Brisbane Tennis Trail.
It is, Peter, because, Milton has had a great history of wonderful matches, great matches. I remember the second time Rod Laver won the Grand Slam was at Milton, and he had that marathon match in the semis against Tony Roach. And there's been some great history at Milton, and it's great to see that they're doing something for Robin, because I think she deserves it. She's been a great ambassador for the game of tennis and for Queensland.
Mel, always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm really thankful that you were able to add in your 2 cents worth, and I really do look forward to going for walks along Brisbane, the Tennis Avenue Park at Tennis Avenue in Ashgrove, and having a nice quiet sit down and contemplate at your Mal Anderson Park bench.
Thanks, Peter. Well, I'd use it a damn lot if I was in that area.
Yeah, no worries. Good on you.
But I really, I think, Peter, you've done a fantastic job for tennis and recognising the past players, and just good luck to you, Peter.
No worries, Mel. You have a great day, and
you too, Peter.
We'll
Okay.
catch up later. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
G'day, I'm Hugh Lund. Welcome to the Frew Park YouTube channel. This is a photo of Milton Tennis Stadium as it used to be when Mal Anderson, who was number 2 in the world in 1957, 1958, when he used to come down and play there. All the Australian tournaments were played on grass. And so Mal arrived at the US Open at Forest Hills in 58, and he was unseeded because they didn't know how good he was on grass. And Mal won the US Open unseeded, the first player ever to do that. So tell us a bit about that, Mal.
Well, yes, back in 57, it was, we used to travel with the Australian team,
Yeah.
and I hadn't, because Harry Hoffman was the captain of the Australian Davis Cup team then, and was his pet thing, to win the Davis Cup. He didn't care who won the major title, as long as he won the Davis Cup, he was happy. And anyway, I just arrived in America, and my tour so far with Australia, very ordinary, although Ashley and I won the French doubles. And I got a letter from Hoffman thinking, oh gosh, this is good, he's going to give me some advice for the remainder of the tour. Anyway, I was getting married in 57 when I got back, and the letter read that, Mel, if you don't have a very good US Open, I want you to come straight to Melbourne from the Forest Hills and work out and cancel your weddings.
Wow.
So that got me motivated rather. Yes, I don't know how I was going to tell home that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got training hard and just luckily I struck through training hard and working hard, struck a purple patch and...
Well, you had the incentive, and of course,
I sure
and of
did.
course, the woman you were marrying was Roy Emerson's sister. So
That's right, yeah.
You couldn't pull out of that one.
No, well, it was quite a strange thing because after I won, Roy decided to have a practice. And of course, those days we looked very much alike.
Yeah.
And people were walking
You were called
out.
the twins.
Yeah, and people were walking out of the stadium at Forest Hills and they, oh, look, there's Mel Anderson practicing now, and he's just won the US. And Roy took it, and he's like...
Well, people tell me that the umpires used to, when you played each other, they would be calling the game to the wrong person.
Quite a few occasions, the umpire got down, he got so confused. And if you knew Roy, he didn't make it any easier for the umpire. He confused them.
So the umpire got out of the chair.
Got someone else to get in.
Who could tell the difference?
Yeah, but no, actually it was great back in those days because, I came from a small town on a cattle colony, really. Mum and Dad had 6,000 acres and I went to Rockhampton Grammar, really basically just get coached tennis because they had a great coach, Charlie Hollis, who happened to teach Rod Mader. And, but I've known Rod since about 9 years of age. And they had a court on their backyard. And I used to go over there. I got permission from the school to go over there and practice with two older brothers, Trevor and Bob.
Yeah.
And we'd be working our way, and they had a little clubhouse just at the middle of the courts, and we'd be having great points. And next minute, a little red-headed guy go out and whack the ball and interfere with the rally. And Trevor and Bob said, "Get out of here, you little bugger!" And they didn't realise that.
Who he going to be?
What he was going to be down the track. But he always had the ability then he could swing the racket. He couldn't even see out of the net then.
Yeah, because he's about 3.5 years younger than you.
That's it, yes, but he's done something in the game.
So we had a lot of great players then, didn't we? I mean, was it because you all knew each other and the people wanted to emulate and you had to compete? There was you, and then 2 years later Emerson, and 1 year later Labour.
Yeah, and then you had you. But I think we had a great system back in the 50s and 60s. Australian Tennis Federation used to always send a team away. They always sent two juniors, the two best juniors to travel. And of course they'd be gone for 5 or 6 months practicing, talking, playing with the best players, and we just kept feeding them through. Unfortunately, when Open Tennis came in, that didn't happen because all the top players went their own way, and the juniors had no leadership at all. And Tennis Australia got behind the eight ball.
And just have a look at this photo that he gave me of him and Mel Anderson. It is an absolute treasure of a photo. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Racey here from Fruit Park YouTube channel. Now, this morning I'm going to be interviewing Robin White, and we're over at, and we were meant to be filming in front of, the Baytown rebound wall, and I'll do a little bit of footage of it, but it is absolutely bucketing down. And it is only the fact that Robin is so keen to put in a plug for Mel Anderson that we've actually persevered with this, because Mel Anderson, I've prepared a submission to name a new causeway over at Ashgrove at Tennis Avenue Park at Tennis Avenue, and so that has been submitted. But now, I'm just collecting a little bit of more background information. Now, Robin, good morning.
Morning, Peter.
Now, thanks for coming out in the rain. You are very persistent, and I'm very happy about that. So, first of all, I know that my daughter, Isabella, she's sort of barreled you up for a few signatures, hasn't she, in relation to the old tennis trial?
She has. She doesn't miss out on getting those signatures.
No, she's really good that way. Now, Mel Anderson, you and I have discussed just prior to starting filming that, Mel Anderson, first-rate international tennis career in the International Hall of Fame. However, the submission comes back to that local involvement in the schools, in the competition locally, and you have particular first-hand experience. Can you enlighten us a little bit?
Yes. Look, Mel being a very good friend, and he has coached at these schools for probably some 60 years, believe it or not, starting off with the tennis centre at the Grange, where he had the 3 children. There was Gary, Paul, Debbie, and they were all good tennis players. Coming through, some of them would have represented the state, I'm sure, at primary school. I know Debbie did. Then he coached at a number of schools around the Grange area for quite a few years before shifting to Gatton, where he took on a number of schools up there in most recent years. And the children just loved him. He was so affable. You couldn't wish for a nicer person. He's a great person.
So so that, I think that gives a credence to the fact that Mal locally in the Grange Asgrove area is deserving of a tribute. And to me, it just tickles me. Mal Anderson Causeway, Tennis Avenue Park, Tennis Avenue, Asgrove.
What a great name.
It is a
Probably
great.
deserves something named after him.
He does indeed.